In every civilization, there are whispers about hidden hands steering the destiny of humankind. Throughout history, kings, prophets, and scientists have all sought to understand the unseen layers of reality, those shimmering dimensions that flicker just beyond our waking perception. But what if, since the beginning, an invisible global power structure has worked tirelessly to keep us blind to what is truly real? What if our reality itself, our societies, religions, even our dreams were engineered to suppress the human ability to perceive higher planes of existence? This is the story of how DMT, one of the most mysterious substances known to man, became the greatest threat to the world's hidden rulers, and how humanity's awakening has been systematically delayed, one generation at a time. 1800s, the age of the hidden chemists. While the Industrial Revolution changed the material world, another quieter revolution began in secret laboratories. Early chemists stumbled upon substances that triggered visions, hallucinations, and experiences that could not be explained by science. Among them were crude forms of dimethyltryptamine (DMT). Unpublished journals from European alchemists suggested these compounds allowed humans to see the machinery behind creation. Some claimed to encounter beings who spoke in color, frequency, and geometry, non-human intelligences who told them reality was a projection and humanity was being kept sedated. These early researchers were silenced, their work confiscated by monarch-backed organizations that would later evolve into modern intelligence agencies. 1900 to 1930, the spiritual awakening suppression. In the early 20th century, spiritualism, mysticism, and altered states surged in popularity. But every movement that explored the boundaries of consciousness, whether through trance, hypnosis, or meditation, was eventually infiltrated by government watchers. Secret societies, such as the Theosophical Order and early Rosicrucians, were rumored to have discovered crude methods for naturally stimulating the DMT gland through breathwork and fasting. As their numbers grew, so did surveillance. By the 1930s, early mind control experiments began. Scientists working under unnamed benefactors tried to map human consciousness and discovered that fear, mass distraction, and synthetic chemicals could suppress natural DMT production in the brain's pineal region. 1940 to 1960, MKUltra and the War on the Mind. During the Cold War, the CIA's Project MKUltra became the public face of secret mind experiments, but DMT was the hidden crown jewel. Unlike LSD, DMT caused subjects to report direct encounters with entities beyond space-time. Classified reports described consistent patterns: mechanical insectoid beings, cities made of light, and voices telling test subjects, "You are trapped." When the results began aligning across participants, researchers panicked. The agencies overseeing MKUltra concluded that DMT did not simply alter consciousness. It opened access to another dimension. The project was abruptly shut down, and all data relating to DMT was buried under national security directives. 1971, the Controlled Substances Act. In the United States and later globally through the United Nations, DMT and other entheogens were classified as Schedule I, no medical value. Publicly, it was framed as a health concern. Privately, it was a containment strategy. Intelligence documents circulated within NATO under Operation Quiet Sun allegedly warned that DMT disrupts consensus reality models and exposes users to entities capable of influencing human thought. Around this time, world leaders met in secret under the Trilateral Energy Accords. Unofficial minutes claimed one agenda item: preventing widespread DMT awakening among populations. By labeling DMT a narcotic rather than a metaphysical tool, the global power network ensured it stayed criminalized and misunderstood for decades. 1980s, the scientific gatekeepers. As psychonauts and counterculture researchers tried to reignite interest, academic journals were pressured to dismiss all findings linking DMT to consciousness expansion. Neuroscience funding shifted toward pharmaceutical sedation, SSRIs, sleep aids, and synthetic dopamine enhancers, all dulling natural DMT release during sleep and death. At the same time, satellites began measuring global magnetic anomalies, possibly connected to pineal gland activity. Secret research suggested that electromagnetic interference could subtly alter consciousness frequency, reducing spontaneous DMT activation. Mass communication networks, including television signals, were then standardized worldwide, coincidentally emitting frequencies that matched brainwave suppression bands. 1990 to 2000, the Rick Strassman anomaly. Dr. Rick Strassman's human DMT experiments in the 1990s were the first official trials allowed in decades. Participants described meeting conscious entities, some calling themselves architects of reality. The consistency alarmed observers. Government monitoring teams reportedly ordered his research shut down before it could continue mapping the link between DMT and the so-called reality field. Around this time, rumors emerged that a secret multinational group, the Sub-Rosa Committee, had begun privately synthesizing and storing purified DMT for their initiates. They believed DMT communication granted insight into the builders, beings allegedly responsible for constructing the simulation we mistake for reality. 2001 to 2012, the age of digital sedation. Following 9/11, the global surveillance grid expanded beyond physical borders into digital consciousness. Algorithms began studying human attention. Corporations weaponized dopamine, replacing inner exploration with endless external stimulation. Scrolling, clicking, consuming. DMT production naturally declined in populations under chronic stress and in response to artificial light exposure. Meanwhile, classified research continued underground. Leaked military documents referenced psychoactive frequency modulation, hinting that DMT states could interfere with remote viewing technologies and time perception experiments. To maintain control, digital media was designed to hijack the same neural pathways DMT once used to awaken higher perception. Humanity's inner lens was replaced by glowing screens. 2013 to 2020, the pineal gland shut down. With the rise of fluoride and electromagnetic pollution, conspiracy communities began warning that modern life was physically calcifying the pineal gland, the so-called seat of the soul. Independent researchers tested this claim and found correlations between calcification and reduced dream vividness. At the same time, governments quietly funded studies on lucid control states, seeking ways to induce synthetic spirituality without access to real DMT states. Transhumanist agendas promoted technological enlightenment, uploading consciousness using neural chips, merging with AI, while discouraging natural methods like fasting, meditation, or breathwork, which historically triggered DMT release. By the end of this period, natural awakening was nearly eradicated among urban populations. 2021 to 2025, the Great Awakening attempt. Grassroots movements began to fight back. Shamans, independent scientists, and ex-intelligence insiders claimed the DMT realm was not a hallucination, it was a perception of the true matrix. Whistleblowers hinted that interdimensional entities had warned humanity repeatedly to remember. Online communities compared DMT visions worldwide, noticing identical landscapes, fractal cities, geometric beings, enormous watchtowers of living light. As millions shared experiences, governments launched psychedelic wellness initiatives, reframing these substances as controlled medical tools. Behind the scenes, intelligence agencies re-entered the scene to regain control of the gateway. They feared that too many humans glimpsing the real reality at once would cause a mass cognitive rupture, the collapse of consensus reality itself. 2026 to 2035, the reality firewall. A global cyberspiritual system was quietly enacted, using 6G frequency infrastructure, satellites, and AI-driven content filtering. Its purpose: to stabilize human thought patterns. Whistleblowers from CERN leaked that the Large Hadron Collider's quantum field tuning was modified to reinforce dimensional boundaries. DMT access reportedly began to feel mechanical or hollow, as entities warned psychonauts that a firewall had been installed between worlds. The realm beyond DMT was now gated by artificial constructs. The shadow governments succeeded in dimming the human connection to the real reality, creating a synthetic afterlife simulation that catches souls upon death before they can transcend. 2036 to 2050, the rebellion of the dreamers. Yet suppression always breeds rebellion. Underground groups known as the dream cartographers emerged, mapping alternate routes into the real realm through sleep, fasting, and collective resonance. They discovered that synchronized dreaming could bypass electromagnetic interference. As these groups grew, natural DMT awakening spread again. Governments deployed counter-narratives, calling them terrorists or cultists. A new class of digital enforcers, AI reality wardens, began tracking and censoring dream signals. Humanity entered a hidden war not for territory or ideology, but for perception itself. 2051 to 2070, the lifting of the veil. As global systems faltered, millions began spontaneously experiencing glimpses of the real reality through near-death experiences, meditation, and exposure to the quantum field. Scientists finally confirmed DMT's presence in the human brain during these moments. The revelation spread faster than it could be contained. For the first time in recorded history, humanity collectively saw through the illusion, realizing that life, death, and the afterlife were layered frequencies of one infinite field. The shadow governments, unable to suppress the awakening, dissolved as their control mechanisms failed. 2071 and beyond, the reclaiming of perception. Humanity learned that reality was never out there. It was a shared projection filtered through collective consciousness. DMT was not an escape, but a mirror showing what was always true. Freed from suppression, humans began communicating openly with the entities, co-creating new dimensions and civilizations beyond physical form. The war for perception ended not through rebellion, but remembrance. The final secret was simple. The real reality was never hidden. It was just waiting for us to look inward. And so the question remains, what if everything we call ordinary life has been designed to keep us from seeing what's right behind our own eyelids? What if every rule, every system, every distraction is only there to keep us from remembering who we really are? Perhaps the greatest conspiracy is not that DMT opens other worlds, but that it reminds us this one was never truly real.